From Brazil, today's guest on my Best Life podcast is not only an MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion, but he's also trained and is still training champions today. Here to share his story and life lessons with us is Jorge Britto. Welcome to my Best Life podcast with Flavia Abadia. We are a new inspirational and motivational podcast featuring people with positive mindsets achieving tremendous things with tips, advice, and life lessons to help you live your best life. Today's episode is brought to you by Crossrope, the highest quality jump rope system on the planet. Get in the best shape of your life today by going to crossrope.com/mybestlife and using the discount code MyBestLife at checkout for 10% off your order. Hello and welcome to my Best Life podcast. I'm Flavia Abadia and today's special guest is Jorge Britto. He's an MMA fighter, head instructor at Toronto BJJ, and a Jiu-Jitsu Black belt. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm pumped to be here. Yeah. Super excited. I love the opportunity to talk to you and all the audience, so It's going to be fun.
Thank you. And okay, you're from Brazil.
Yes.
How did you get into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Okay. So let me see, how can I start that? So in Brazil, like Jiu-Jitsu was always kind of like a popular martial art. Mm-hmm. And then I was always through soccer. It's like I lost my father, I was 8.
Oh, wow.
And I was always I still like a very active guy, mm-hmm. Super hyper. And then my mom need to find something to keep me quiet or to tire me out. So, and especially when my father was away, so she didn't have much time to be around. So she put me and my brother in soccer. So my brother didn't like it very much, but my brother much more quiet guy than me.
Okay.
And I started to go through soccer. Soccer is the Brazilian national sport. Everybody loves it, but it's super hard. And then at some point of when I was about 12 years, the team that I was there, not playing professionally or not even close, but I was part of that team. They sold their field to a shopping mall in this neighborhood that was very close to my place, and then they moved to to kind of the burbs, very far away.
Okay.
And then I even tried to go, but it would be a horrible, because I would have to quit school, which is the way if you wanted to take that really serious. And I didn't really have it in my heart. And at the same time that happened, my friends in the street that we play soccer every day, 6 or 5 of them, they start to do jiu-jitsu. And I went one small academy, and then one day I just came to check it out. At that point, they were already training, and the professor, a master called Flavia, he already passed. He said, "Hey, come here. All your friends are trying. You should try." Mm-hmm. And then I really liked the approach, because before I had tried other martial arts such as karate and taekwondo. I don't know how to pronounce that in English. I'm sorry, guys, about my accent. Okay.
No, it's okay.
Trying my best.
We like the Brazilian accent.
So then, and the other martial arts require a lot of motor skills. And then I play soccer, but I didn't have motor skills. I'm the kind of say, "Hey, raise your left arm." And I would have raised the right, Okay. I'm all wrong, and I'm not very coordinated. Mm-hmm. And Jiu-Jitsu, I felt that I didn't need that, because it was just go there and start to fight. And I like to fight. I was always a kid that, because I was so insecure that I had a fight as something to make myself to feel good about myself and to prove that I was something. And a lot of times I would pick fights because I was so scared. And Jiu-Jitsu gave me that confidence of I can fight better. And then I start to fight right away, by learning how to fight, and I just got hooked up. And that.
So how old were you?
I was about 13.
Oh, okay.
When I started to say take it serious. I was coming one time, checking it out, and then my friends were there, and then I'm starting to go to hang out with them, and where are the guys? The boys are in Jiu-Jitsu. I'm oh man. They're gonna quit. That was in the back of my mind. They're gonna do it for a while, but they were doing it, and I'm okay. And then I enrolled, and remember that my aunt, she paid my first membership, And then I didn't have money to pay, by the way. And then but this professor, he was like, he likes, I don't know for what reason, maybe it's destiny or something, but he likes me somehow. And he really like encouraged me to keep, because I told him like, I can't just do the next month. I don't have money.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, but it's okay. You help us out here, you know. And he wants to fill up the room too. And there's another teacher coming to stay on his on his function, because he would like start to be a cab driver at the time. And that's when like I start to train and just take it seriously, you know, train a lot. In 3 months I start to compete, and then I got hooked up.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did your friends continue also?
Most of them they stopped.
No?
Like I would say that from those first ones, like they all like not trained today, which is really sad. Every time I go back home, I see them. I was like, hey man, you should like give it another shot. But it's life changed directions, right? So, and I can tell that jiu-jitsu really changed the direction of my life, you know.
Okay.
I truly believe God put jiu-jitsu in my way, because the life was very tough for me when my father passed. Like my mom, you know, was like a single mother, unemployed with 2 kids. Brazil is not a place known as a good economy.
Yeah.
And she couldn't find jobs, and she got in a relationship that was not very good for her, and not very good for us too. You know, a person that didn't brought much to the table. You know, it was actually very abusive. You know, especially with psychology, talking about sometimes not physically, but like the way that he acted with her. And then my mom ended up like falling on that, to be too emotional attached on this man. And our life went from bad, from my father passed, to like really bad. So there was times that we had no food, that we really starved. Like my mom thought about suicide. I remember at one point that she wanted like to turn on the gas on the stove and close us out. She's like, oh, what do you get? And do you understand like the level that she got? Yeah. That she came to like 2 like kids to tell like, how about we just meet up daddy in heaven? Like something like that.
All of you. Oh my God.
And then I got paranoid, and then I started to like to sleep in between the balcony that we had, like to make sure the windows are open. It was pretty rough times, but it's crazy like how that for me today, when I look back, I'm very thankful for that. Yeah. Because it made me the person I am today, you know. And you know.
Is she okay now?
Oh, she's great. Yeah. It's like, no, my mom was the best mom. Yeah. I love her so much. She raised me the man I am today. She passed to me all the principles, and I understand. And because of that, I have to learn a lot about things that in the early age I had to go through, you know. And she had her actions there. I would say she was a little bit responsible, you know, a lot of times. But that was good for me. Was good because it showed me a very early in my life, like a lot of things that prepare me for other things that I would have seen in life and maybe even avoid it, you know. Yeah. I truly believe that everything in your life, it's meant to be. You know, you just need to learn how to change the perspective, and I think that's the big lesson I get from those tough times. I had to every time trying to find a way to be happy, because I couldn't rely on anything. I was like, school for me was hard. I was never a good student, you know, not bad. I was just like enough to make it in everything. And school in Brazil is not good, so it would be points that I have to like switch schools because my mom couldn't pay it, and she would try her very best.
Oh yeah, because in South America in general, you have to pay
to have like a basic education. Yeah. I'm not even talking about like here, like. You get your kids in a private school, it's like you're rich. In Brazil, like you got your kid in a private school, you kind of like depend on a private school. You know, it's like I went to private schools because the schools from the government are like really bad. Yeah, it's like some of them that no classes. And the area I used to live like in a neighborhood called Tijuca, surrounded by like some of the favelas. The schools there are really bad. So then and then. The assistant teachers, which I don't believe in that anymore, because like I'm a living proof of like I didn't make like education my biggest thing to like to succeed in life. Yeah. it makes me think that we're supposed to like get that diploma and things like that. I won't lie to you, it helped me a lot, but it was not what necessarily make me succeed in the things that I like to do. Yeah. But you get a better chance. I think like whatever educational system the country, whatever country is have, it will be giving you like some tools to like understand things, like such a learn how to write, learn how to like to make like math and things like that. It helps to become like, you know, to develop your system of thinking, you know. And that was that. So she made all those sacrifices to get us in school and to at least we have a chance to finish. And that was good, you know, but it was rough. It was really rough, but I'm very thankful in that way. So then my mom is fine now, you know, through the times like she was able to get out of that relationship, which was not too bad. If you see, like there was moments that, you know, it was good for us to have somebody there, you know, because like we didn't have like a father. And then sometimes it looks like a father figure, but like right after he would screw everything and we're like, I just want this guy away from my life, you know. Yeah. But I learned how to like find ways to be happy without necessarily have the things I wanted, you know. It's just like.
That's a really good lesson.
Oh, it was good.
Yeah, to be happy. And when did you start teaching jiu-jitsu?
Okay. Then I started like to be there around jiu-jitsu in this academy that was like a small academy. And this teacher, his name is Fernando, and he Nutri Baby, he changed, he moved to another city. Okay. And that's when I found myself, okay, where I'm going to do. So because he came from a lineage that the main school was in Copacabana, another neighborhood. And again, money will come into place. I have no money to go to get a bus fare. I'm not talking about like, oh, you didn't have money. No, I didn't have money to get a bus fare to go to that place. And I have to find something on my neighborhood because I could like bike or walk. And then I have like this friend of mine that was from this Gracie Academy. And then his name is Flavia. And then we already had some sort of relationship. And then we talked. And then he took me to the Gracie Academy. And then that's when my life started to change. Because then it's a completely different world. It was a big academy. A lot of people training. A lot of champions. The Gracie family. And I got so close. My other teacher was from the Carson Gracie Academy, which is another lineage of Gracie, which is as legit as that one. But the thing was the distance would take me. I would not be able to make it. And at that point, I didn't want to quit jiu-jitsu at all. I was like, I was really like, okay, this is my life. That's what I'm going to do it. I loved that so much. And then soon when I got there was when I really make the decision, because then it's like you're finishing school. I'm about 16. And then that time my mom was working in a laundry. And then I could get geese from everybody. And then if I paid the soap, I could wash it in the off hours and bring it back to the academy and make some little cash. But in Brazil, like people don't usually wash their geese in laundries.
So geese, for people who don't follow jiu-jitsu, it's like the uniform. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry guys.
No, that's okay.
She used to train jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Gotta get her back in the training. Yeah. But anyways, I got this, and there was a little support I have from the laundry. And I remember that this professor that today he lives in Texas, and he's very successful. And her daughter is like number 1 today in jiu-jitsu. She's gonna fight in UFC like some of this.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, her name is Mackenzie Dern, and his name is Wellington Megaton. Okay. And he saw me on all that hustle because they all came, like a lot of people from North America came from the first World Championships in Brazil. Okay. And then I couldn't even make that world camp training. But I was there hustling, trying to get some like geese and offering the guys. And because the North American guys like are really in through wash their geese in the way that the standards here, you know, so they understand that even more. So I started to make some money there. And I remember the currency back in the day was like 3 for 1. So I was making tons of money.
Oh,
was
from the North American guys,
yeah, you know, they pay me in dollar, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of money. And then some of them are so nice with me and gave me power bars, and I was like, wow. And we see all the gringos coming, and they have the nice shoes and t-shirts. Like, wow, that must be so. And we saw our friends, our professors, the higher level guys that was already living in the States, and you know, wow, this is so cool, living in America, living in the States. And then Megaton sat beside me, and already thank him so much many times for that. Every time I see him, I make sure I say, man, thank you so much for that advice. He look at me like, hey, kid, you really like to work. You hustle hard. I'm like, yeah. It's like, do you like jiu-jitsu? I'm like, I love jiu-jitsu. I love it so much. It's like, so do one thing. Learn how to teach.
Okay.
Learn how to speak English. And find a way to get out of this country.
Okay.
Because the future is going to be there. There's too much people already here. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, I look at him like, yes. I took that advice, and then it was like, let's say a month and a half of people training in doing all the things, and the competition came. I work at a competition as like a scorekeeper, I like do everything guy kind of thing, because they hire like people like volunteers kind of. They pay you a little money, but for me it was just like to be there, you know, witness everything that I couldn't even like dream to step on a match. You have to be so high level to compete the first world championships back in the day. Not that today is not the same, but it's more accessible. Back then it was like just few people who made it.
Yeah.
And
especially in Brazil with so many good people.
I wasn't even close to be the guy on like but blue belt back in the day. I was a juvenile guy. I was no chance. Anyways, finished the camp. I get back home, and then I was supposed to like find a way to get in a university. All right, and that was it would be like a huge challenge for my life, because with no money, you got in a university in Brazil. It's like you have to be very good in school to pass to what they call vestibular. It's kind of like an assessment test till you get to the university or for the government. And would have been no chance for me. I even tried. I enrolled myself, and I knew I would not make it because I never was a guy to sit down on books and read. You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm very interested on the subject, I would not read it. And then I'm like, Mom, I'm not going back to school. I'm going to be like, just train jiu-jitsu. I'm going to be a jiu-jitsu professor. I want to move out of Brazil. And she's like, what? No.
Yeah.
And it was months of fight to try to get me back. She made me do the test. And of course I failed bad. And like I told you, I was not going to make it. And then she kind of accepted, you know. And then I want to make like a little point on that here. You know, a lot of people sometimes, you look for support for your dreams, right? And then I tell this for my students a lot of time in school. I have no doubt in the world there's nobody that loves me more than my mom. You know, she was the first obstacle. She was the first person to tell me, don't go to your dream.
I totally understand that. That was the same for me.
And, you know, that's crazy. You're not going to make it. Imagine if I listened to her.
Yeah.
You know, I try, like, I look at her like I don't want your life. I want my life. You know, I love you. And I had like you know, that attachment that I have to make it everything to, it's like, no. I think God gave us life for we live. And then we have things in our heart, and I believe that He put us in. You know, it's not like when it's good, you know, when it's like, it has like some value. And then what I was trying to do in my life is like, I just want to like fulfill my dreams and live something that is good. It's like, I'm like, do jiu-jitsu. At that point, I had no idea what I would have faced after, but I went through. And then I decided, and I spent like years like just training, 2 years to be more like, to the point that through jiu-jitsu, I got an opportunity to do this university we call physical education. It's a course in Brazil that won a big champion, and she's a girl. Her name is Letícia Ribeiro. She's like a multiple-time world champion in Brazil. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. She's a Hall of Famer, and she was one of the biggest supporters in my whole entire life. She was the teammate. You know, she helped everybody, and she got this sponsorship, and she hooked us everyone from the academy, like for whoever wants to go to school, to get that one. And then I'm like, all right, good. And then I was stupid at first, and instead I choose like right away physical education, which was like the first thing I wanted in my heart. I'm like, oh, once I'm getting the opportunity to go I'm gonna do law, and then I try law.
Okay.
Completely, because I had that idea, like maybe I become like a chief police guy and I can train. In the first semester, like I already said, like that's it. No, and then I stopped. It was good because at least I tried, you know, and then I needed to go and see what's up, because you know, when you insecure still, I didn't have the confidence that I could be a teacher, At that point, I thought like, to you be a teacher, you have to be like that champion. And I'm telling you something. I was like a tough dude. I compete a lot. I have some like a little titles here and there, but I wasn't like the champion. You know, in the academy, nobody would look at me and say, wow, what a champion. Just like another, tough dude. But there's like dozens, you know, tough dudes, you know, like everybody's tough, everybody fights hard, everybody trains hard. I was a hard worker, don't get me wrong. I was like, people would be impressed in how much work ethic I had because I really wanted, you know, but I would go to a tournament and lose, and then wins here, win there, and then lose, but not making the big results that you like, okay, now you're a superstar. And that does encourage you a little bit, you know, and then when you're young, you don't have, and then like, oh, maybe I'll do something to back me up.
You picked law. Did you ever do the physical therapy after?
The physio, and then, but like, and when I quit, so I like, okay, I want to change the course. So I want to go to physical education, which is like, and that's a very like a comprehensive, and then some of the subjects that I had made already fitted in. I just have like to maybe do like extra 2 grades there and there, and I would have figured out, so I made it. So anyways, I finished the course, like 4 years course. It was amazing for me because it gave me like all the ideas on how to teach, progressive teaching, kinesiology, you know, all the body functions. It was amazing because also gave me the opportunity to work in the fitness industry, which would be a huge asset for me at that point. Why? Because there's no sponsorship for jiu-jitsu. Even today, there's more popular people hear about because all the MMA fights and etc. There's no real sponsorship, the things that you like, you can rely on it. It's like just for like few guys in the top, and they have to work so hard for it. Yeah. And then the fitness industry would give me something to finance my dream. And then I could like, you know, like be a personal trainer. So I thought spinning classes. Like a gymnastic classes, all kind of things that I could. So I worked with kids for a long time because you have to make it to complete the course. It gave me a lot of experience in systems of teaching. Yeah, because with kids you have to try like so many ways. And I feel like when you teach kids, it's more immediate because they react right away and you can see if they're paying attention or not paying attention. And if you think about it, kids are just adults. We are the same. Yeah. I use the same psychology that I used. Today I'm back teaching kids just because my son. But like it's the same. It's so funny. But you know, it was good for me. You know, 4 years course gave me a lot of experience, and I can like now work on a field that is close to what I love it. It's not what I really wanted at the time, but I like, again, now come back to the tough times of my life. I had to learn how to love things. Okay. And that was a huge advantage. I can feel it. And you love the journey. I start to love to be a personal trainer, you know, and then to be a spinning teacher and to be a gymnastic teacher, because I could like help people to achieve their goals by like being there. And I was always like very honest in the way I am. I never, you know, oh, I just want to make the money, you know. I want to make the money, but I want the person to like to give me the results. And then I started to be quite successful in the academy that I teach and have lots of clients. And that helped me so much to finance my MMA career, because at that point I was starting to migrate from jiu-jitsu to MMA because I want to challenge myself. I want to compete in the highest level of the sport and see how I would do. And then as a jiu-jitsu practitioner, when we start, everybody's kind of influenced a little bit about the back in the day when they have the first UFCs that had a Royce Gracie, and it's like everybody wants to get that. And when I was kind of like a brown belt, which is not black belt yet, I was already competing in MMA, which was kind of like the moment in the history of that sport that MMA was vale tudo, which is like, it means anything goes in Portuguese. It was like when there was no rules. Okay. Was it starting to become a sport, the MMA that everybody knows today, with rounds and gloves. So and I was able to fight in rings and kind of like some different ideas and different like rule sets, and it was great. And then I was able to start to compete on this, which gave me like some sort of you know, more exposure, because like you start to like to step up from like a different challenge that not everybody was doing. You know, there was a lot of people doing, but not everybody. So then you step from one platform to other, and that really helps. And if it wasn't the support I have from myself, and of course a lot of people back then, I'm like thankful to the rest of my life that made it happen. But I could like pay my bills, because at that time too, like my mom was like always struggling to find jobs, and to like we never like in a good financial situation. Finances was always like, oh damn, you know, you have to learn how to live without much resources, and that was helping me, you know, to get also some dignity, because through that point I never drove a car. I didn't have money to buy a car. I think I had one girlfriend before my wife, because I could afford a girlfriend.
No.
Yeah, I could like, let's go. I can take you to anything. And then the girlfriend I had was like some girl that was friend, and then she kind of understand the struggle, because it's like I was a broke guy. I never had the shoes everybody wants to have, the jacket everybody was buying. You know what I'm saying? Like, which again, I'm thankful for that, because today I'm so not materialistic. I'm like, I don't spend my money with a lot of things, and it's like, for me, anything's good. And then don't get me wrong, I want the best. If I can drive the best car, have the best water, the best food, I will have it. But if I don't have it, or if for some reason there's no accessible for me, I don't kill myself for it, you know, because it's not what is more important for me. And that was that. It was really tough times from like years and years of my life. I would be, and then I started to teach jiu-jitsu in that meantime. So like every time I had an opportunity to teach jiu-jitsu, I'm teaching jiu-jitsu in a camp, but always on a volunteer basis. Okay. Some private classes here and there, like some clients end up like, hey man, you're a fighter, so like how can I learn something? Okay.
And they pay you for the private classes, obviously.
Exactly. You know, always like that. But it's you can't really rely on that. You know, it's like jiu-jitsu in Brazil, it's not as like now it's getting better. And I'm away from like 10 years now in May, complete 10 years that I'm here in Canada.
Oh wow.
It's better. I can see there's better there, but it's still not like it's just, if like people every time they need to cut something, they cut first what is not essential, and then jiu-jitsu, it is not essential. People right away cut it. So it's like physical activity too. It's like if there's something people are gonna cut, it's the personal trainer.
Okay, yeah.
And then the whole time
so you don't have as many clients, and
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you can have it, but it's a struggle. And then I will tell you my struggle. It's like every day from 2000 to 2008, that was the year I moved to Canada. Every single day I would wake up at 4:45 a.m. and go to bed at 10:45 every single day.
Okay.
And traveling with a big bag.
Yeah.
With food, just eating on the bus. You know, find ways to don't pay the fare, because like you have no money. So you would it's just like enough to make it, enough to like to okay, I pay that bill. You know what I mean? Like pay this thing. It's like, because and then at that point everybody's calling you crazy. Why you don't get a real job? Why don't you change that? Like why don't you stop training, man? And then you see all your friends already doing this, getting regular jobs, quote unquote, on that. Buying cars, getting the relationships, and you're like, whoo. Yeah. And then I tried to come to States 3 times, and then I got like a visas denied. No. Okay. 1, 2, 3. The 4th, I went to the USA consulate. And then I was very honest with them, because like I'm like, you see how God acts in people's life. I'm a true believer of God, you know. I'm like I'm Christian, but I don't like to label myself Christian, because I believe Jesus came to the earth to like finish religion. But anyways, it's just the people here have an idea what I believe, what's the belief system I have in my mind. But I believe like God just like he operates in things, you know. He has like missions for people, and then you have to find what it is. And I believe that he didn't allow me to go, even because I was not being truthful for the American concept. Because it was, I'm going to compete, but I wasn't just going to compete and stay. And then the 4th time I tried, and then they finally allowed me to go for the first World Championships in the States. The first time that the tournament was allowed there. So I remember that all the other times I bring a lot of paperwork and you know like things like to talk that I'm gonna come back and then I'm a fighter. That time I just brought my medals. I go to the door and like, oh, you can't get here with medal. I'm like, yeah, but this is what I'm gonna show them what I'm doing. You know.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want to do? I just want to compete at tournament.
Okay.
And then they like, okay. They came back, and back in the day, the social media was like in Brazil, like big. It was Orkut. Do you ever heard about that one?
No.
It was an old kind of Facebook.
Okay.
It came back with like all the pages of my Orkut printed. It's like, we're gonna keep an eye on you. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, okay.
I went there. I competed. It was great, and I spent like a few days of you know, like maybe a month and 15 days in San Diego. And I had an opportunity to be there teaching, but I'm like, no, I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to come back.
Okay. Because what would happen if you stayed in the U.S.? Well, I guess
you're going to be illegal. Then
yeah.
you have to go through a lot of things that people do to like become legal again. But I didn't want to do that, even because I was like already like engaged with like my actual wife now.
Oh, okay.
And
nice.
I didn't want to just to, you know, go. You know, everybody was expecting me to come back. My clients, my personal training clients, I have a huge work ethic. And then, you know, they helped me to go there. So they pay for some privates I had, you know, some of the classes to be. I'm like, no, I can't let these people down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you did the right thing and
I'm going to come back. I came back. That was 2007. And then I got pretty like, oh, I have to come back there. You know, I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gonna tell my wife. But now when I go, I'm gonna spend some time there. I'm gonna see what's up, because I saw my dream. That's what I want. And it's like, imagine like I was now like looking for California, San Diego. That's what's my Now
and the weather would be better from Brazil than from Toronto, Canada.
A lot of Brazilian friends there. Like the mecca of jiu-jitsu in the States now, San Diego. There's tons of Brazilians. Okay. It's a huge Brazilian community there. And then I want to come back a little bit more. So this is 2007, 2005. You know, I have a breakthrough in my life.
Okay.
So what happened is that I have this, and again, I just want like to point it out again. So the bad things, quote unquote, and bad that happen in your life, are the best things that happen for you, because you have to always learn how to change the perspective. It's something that I do now consistently since that time. And I think God showed me that. And especially when you pass the time and you look back like, wow, that was so necessary for me. So I in that struggle of like fighting and stuff like that, I decided to put a lot of effort on the MMA. Because like I was doing like okay career, I had like wins and losses, but like it came up an opportunity to make a fight in one of the in Brazil biggest events, a lot of exposure. I could make like something out of it with a sponsorship, and I thought, okay, that's my goal is like to make it big, to fight in the US or in Japan. Back in the day, it was a big, and this show was a big show because a lot of good guys are there, and then they gave me like and my eyes was like, oh, I have a good fight, because I have a guy just one fight and had more experience. I had 5 at the time. I'm like, I'm gonna make that fight easy. And I trained, but like I started to like in my mind, I already won.
Oh, okay.
And I have this relationship that was at first girlfriend. The relationship was going okay, and because of that, I neglect all my clients because I put all in. I'm like, I cut some people off for like some hours just to be like training more. And then I went there, and it's like a big event, like 6,000 people watching.
Oh, wow.
And then it's the first time a cage for this kind of event, and then everybody looking up. I got beat up.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
Bad. But like there was like I have a lot of losses in my career, but like that was the worst one. All the other ones was like referee, like a judge decision, which is like, okay, the fight is like go to the round, go to the distance, and then judge decide that you lost it. It's okay. Never something like 10-8. It's like always 10-9. Like this is a kind of like a regular fight. It could go for you if you have a better strategy, but that was like a TKO like a referee stopping the fight for you don't get more damage. The guy really gave me a beat. Second round, bad. And then like I call back, like face his wallet, so that girlfriend finishes with me.
Oh, really?
And then I saw that it's like, well, our relationship was bad already, you know. And then I saw myself with like, where am I at? Like financially really bad. And that's when I found God. because I had to go to find who God was, because I wanted to find out what I'm doing wrong. Mm-hmm. And I go deep on my spirituality, and I found God through Jesus. And of course, it comes from a stage that you got that first love, and you got kind of like blind for everything, and all it matters is Jesus, 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 which is still. But like it's a way that God teaches you like how to get out of the world first and clean you from like everything that you used to do, because you reborn. And then a lot of people don't understand that awakening, the spiritual awakening, like Jesus has a way to make it. Some people find through other religions, which is like
I feel like,
but I don't think it's as solid as the way, because the way Jesus teaches is so simple. Because it's like once you just awake, you already have it. And then it's about you follow that spirituality and never let it go, and do not live under any kind of rule. I think the rules keep us away from God, because it starts like, okay, if I do this, I'm going to whatever, I'm going to pay for it. This is a karma. No, it doesn't work like that. Because God is a God of love. He doesn't want to like punish anybody. If there's somebody to punish you, is yourself, by making wrong decisions and finding like a wrong ways and accepting and not fighting for it, But it's a long story, and you have to study, and I never got in a comfortable zone on my spiritual side, not just like, okay, whatever the pastor is saying is what I said. So I jumped from church and churches, because I started to see like even in the Jesus church there was a lot of ugly things, and I didn't like it. Of
course, because like religion is human made.
And that's it. And that's and then I started to realize that what Jesus came to do is fight against it. But then why God put a religion in? Because he needs to show who was the real God. Because back in this, let's gonna come back to the 3,000 years ago, the operating system of the human beings were completely different than today. Even the linguistic that we had was different. Like the words, everything was so primitive, and then there was necessary a set of rules to define who was like the savages and who was the most organized society. And I believe God chose two people to make that and make them very strong, to people say like, okay, what they have different? Oh, they worship that God.
Okay.
And that's what I learned from, like, I studied the Bible, we studied the history of the churches.
Okay. Yeah. I don't really understand that part, but
so if you see the Old Testament, okay, and if you see the beginning and the roots of the Muslims, all right, I know some people will disagree with me, but that's what disagree the whole world. That's why I choose that, because then I'm free of all this. At the end, you're gonna understand it. It's like they came from the same root.
Yeah, so like Judaism, Islam, and Christianity came from
Why?
the
Because
same, yeah.
they were the same God.
Yeah, I think it's
and
the
they
same,
bought,
but
like
different
the
ways
Jewish,
of
completely
worshiping.
different ways. But if you always stop, like now historically, there were like the two most organized societies, basically.
Who is
that worship some God, Jewish and Muslims.
Oh yeah.
They're so organized. They know how to make their things work. And that was necessary back in that time, because the way people talk was different. People were savage. People like, they need to have a stop. There was no rules. We're coming back to that today. But anyways, it was worse back then. There was no like defined society. And the way God showed who he was, promising a Messiah for both of them. But I believe the Messiah is Jesus, and he came like saying like, hey, okay guys, because if you go through the teachings of Jesus, it's always against religion, always against the rules, but always with the rules. You already know what's right, you already know what's wrong. So now it's in your hand to make the decision. It's not God that's gonna penalty, it's gonna be you. You're gonna do something wrong gonna happen.
So you had this like epiphany and breakthrough before you went to the US to compete, or after?
Just before.
Just before, okay.
And that was really like, but I was like, look, that spiritual walking is still in.
Yeah.
Is never ending. It's never ending. You can't stop. You have to like feed your soul in a way that you strengthen your spirit. It's like, but you are now awake for like your body, your soul, your spirit, and you know how to feed each one of them. You understand? It's like how we feed our bodies with like water, food,
sleeping.
How you feed your soul is your ego.
Okay.
Your soul is your ego, pretty much. It's the things that you like, the things that makes you feel good. But sometimes the things that makes you feel good, they're more controllable by your spirit. And if you kill your spirit, it's gonna be just ego, and that's when we go down the road. And a lot of people might live a perfect life, their whole entire life, but their spirit is dead. And that's when everything comes in place in the spiritual side, because the spiritual side is a promise of eternal life. All right, but this life now here is just a period of time. How long are you gonna live? 80 years, 90, 100? Okay, cool, but that's it. Some people believe that's it, you're finishing up. I don't. I believe like my spirit is still alive because I decided to. And for the ones that decided there's not, and then it comes all those images of hell and burning fire, guy with like this is completely against what God wants to really teach people. There's no such a thing like that. The hell is a completely different. It was like the way that Jesus used it to define. Look, like our conversation came to gospel. My God.
We'll take it back to the journey in a bit.
It's a way that back in the day he has how to show, like, for example, people don't understand, like when Jesus talked about the fire that never stopped, it was like a city that people used to put the garbage there.
Okay.
It's like those are like a deep, like a Christian Bible studies. You have to go deep to understand.
Yeah,
because
I don't know about that burning city.
Yeah,
I'm
like a
Christian, but yeah.
But what's the definition of hell that people have in their mind when you say like, oh, you're going to hell? You imagine what?
The opposite of heaven. So
yeah,
like
but,
all bad.
But what we're being taught for us when we kids? You know what I mean? It's like that. Like who is devil? It's like a red guy.
Yeah.
That trident
with
thing.
the pitchfork thing.
You understand? But like some people that has no spirituality, this is what they think about it. They see who's God is. God is a guy with a big beard.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But
I don't think that. But yeah.
But not you.
Yeah.
But like a huge amount of people in the world think like that, and that's what those are our brothers and our sisters. You know what I mean? And even worse is like some people that just ignore that at all and just live the life with no ambition, because I could like see how that it changes you and how this gives you that, but it's a personal belief.
Yeah, everyone's obviously entitled to believe anything they want, and like
and that's what God has taught me.
Yeah.
And this is like and that was a period of like and then that's when I want to come back on that, because I want to show like how the belief in God, it's not in vain, because I started
that
to
really
study and
you.
really be like, okay, I'm going to be like feeding more my spiritual than my ego, than my soul. And start to learn how to be happy and how to make my soul happy with the spiritual things. And then I started to really change a lot in my life, and the way I was, and the way I make my decisions, and make me wiser. And then at that point in 2007, so I went and I came back, and I was like, I want to come back. And I was defined, I want to come back. I'm going to come back. And in the same time, I was getting more engaged in my church. I changed church twice, and I found a church that I felt really, really spiritual home, and I was happy there. I was even teaching jiu-jitsu there. And in that period of time, like one night, I just I spent the whole night praying, because I couldn't handle anymore the 4:45 a.m., 10:45.
Yeah.
I was super tired.
Every day, that's crazy. Yeah.
It was like I was like, I can't handle this anymore. So I prayed to God, like I'm literally here. If you out there, you gotta listen to me. I can't handle this anymore. You gotta give me my dream. I wanted to get there. This was a Thursday night. Friday. There was Thursday nights to Friday. So Friday I go to work. So every Friday I used to go to my fiance, now my wife. From there, it's easier to go to the place that I train MMA because it has a training practice Saturday. Was by the way, like train up this place, Black House, a lot of good guys there, like Anderson Silva, Vitor Belfort, very nice team to train back home. And I got this phone call from this professor like of mine that brought me here. I was like, hey, do you wanna like to? There's an opportunity in Canada, and right away I got like a wow. I literally didn't sleep the whole night praying to God and asking for that. So just hold on, just you will see what I'm talking about now. And I'm like, right away I'm like, it came like the Spirit had told me, like the Holy Spirit, the God. So like, look, this is what you ask, here it is. Yeah. Here's your opportunity. I'm like, okay, I want it. I'm done. I'm down for it. It's like, okay, you gotta go like and take a look for visa. Okay. I'm like, great. I'm gonna start to do this like Monday. And then, you know, back then phones were not touch that. You gotta actually wait to go in home and and I'm going to my fiance's house. I don't want to go in her house and do this. I have to actually wait till Monday. And I'm talking to her. Look, maybe. She's like, okay, blah blah blah. And now I wanted to tell you, like in 2003, me and my brother, we made like we on that try to get out of Brazil. My grandfather's Portuguese, immigrated to Brazil. Okay. So we try to get our citizenship. Okay. Because we have the rights. Because my mom is actually Portuguese, but they never make their papers. It's like my son today. He's Canadian Brazilian. Okay. You get what I'm saying? And then I could get it because like my father, my grandfather, he came like, well, he just was dressing whatever he had. He had no papers, and then we just knew it. We just knew that he came from Trás dos Montes, which is a city there, and that's all we know. And so we pay a little fee for this guy to make a research, but we never get back. And we email, like we mail, not even email. We mail the guy, and the guy never. I couldn't find it. One time he sent a letter, but he's still searching for it. And then this Saturday. Okay, just listen. This Saturday, remember
Saturday
that
after the phone call.
Yeah, I'm at the practice of this place, Black House, and there's this guy, special guest there, like talking with this guy. His name is Amaury Bitech. Okay. He's a the first two-time absolute world champion, and he's talking with this guy that was the coordinator of the group, Carlão Barreto, another Carson Gracie, super famous fighter in Brazil. They're talking here. I'm on the side, listen. They're talking about like no, because my mom and the consulate, I'm gonna get this for you, the Portuguese consulate. So then I don't know why, but it comes to my heart, like ask him. And like, hey, Amaury, I'm sorry to interrupt. I hear that you part of like my mom is the consul of Portugal in Brazil. Oh, okay. Yeah, like that close to me. I'm like, yeah, but and then I explain, I have this, and that. Give me your name. Okay. So Monday, I got a phone call. And like, I want you to picture that. I'm like, I told like 3 students, like, hey, I'm sorry, I can't teach today. Because I'm going to make the research on how to get the visa to Canada. To come as a visitor to actually see what's up. Yeah. Come to talk to the guy, whatever. And make another visit to America because I have to like meet the guy in San Diego and come together here. At that point, I gave the name for him. I'm like, okay, maybe something come out of that. But I didn't count on it because I'm like, you know what? Let me play safe. Let me go for it. I'm not going to be washing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hands on it. So today I want to make it. I don't care. I'm like, that's priority. I'm going to get this visa. I'm getting out of here. So phone rings. It's like, this is like talking about real phones, okay? Not like cell phones. Like in my house, my mom answers and says, George, phone's for you. I'm like, damn, who's calling me, mom? It's like, it's for you.
And this was on Monday.
Monday. Okay. I'm like, who wants to call me Monday? Like, I'm doing that thing. I stop the computer. I walk. I go until the living room. Hello. Is that Jorge Britto here? I'm like, yeah. Oh, here's the deal. We hear from the Portuguese consulate. We found the papers from my grandfather, so you can come here to like apply for your passport. I'm like, whoa. Okay. Yeah. I'm like, just so you know, that why it's so pumped about it, because the European passport, which is the Portuguese, you don't need visa to States, you don't need visa to Canada.
Yeah. So then you could
I'm
go
like,
either place.
okay,
Yeah.
when can I go there? Oh, you can come here anytime. Just bring the fee.
So did you go the
It's
same
1,000
day?
reais. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Okay.
I didn't have the money.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, I don't care. But I have like a line of credit.
Yeah.
I go right there and I pray in front of the machine. That sounds crazy, right? I'm like, God, I'm taking this money. It's because I trust you that you're going to find me out. And he knows how much I hate to own banks or anything. I think everybody, especially in that situation, I felt so insecure. And then I got the money. Tuesday, I went there. I don't know if you can see, but like I'm supposed to take my mom, everybody, but like it came right away to mine because the guy called and then somehow they made it happen. So I paid the fee.
Yeah.
And then my passport would be ready in 1 week.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm like, okay, call the guy, say, in 1 week I'm ready to go. Like, what? I'm like, yeah.
That's sick. Okay.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And then I'm starting to get ready. Start to talk to people like, look, I'm not going to teach this month anymore. Just like May, like April, you know, like I'm going to start saying May, I'm not teaching guys. I'm going to Canada. And the people are like, really? I'm like, yeah, that fast? I'm like, yeah. And then I'm telling people not believing yet. And I still have it in the back of my freaking thing. I have to pay this $1,000 that I don't have it.
Yeah.
And then to have an idea, I have no money at all. It's like, you know,
I guess, yeah, for the plane ticket and to stay and for food, you need.
No, I don't even have money there, Daddy, because I got everything I had to pay. I remember that I have like 750 on my line of credit, which is like so bad. And then I have like the other 300, 200 I just got from my money, like to pay that fee. You know what I'm saying? And I have a motorcycle, so I was like dying to put gas. Another phone call. Now that time on my cell phone, I'm at the academy with some clients for my mom. Can you just give me again like your bank account number? Okay. My grandmother passed it away 3 years ago.
Okay.
She left insurance thing.
Okay.
And then she just left some money for me for my brother.
Yeah.
How much?
Was it 1,000?
1,000.
Oh, for each, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was like
it's
Monday,
meant to be
maybe Thursday.
And to be 3 years after.
And I tell these people say I'm lying. I bring my mom here.
Day.
I bring my wife here.
Wow.
They will like say yes. It's unbelievable, right? But that's how God do. This is what people don't understand.
Yeah,
like,
and the power of belief, like you don't. Even
but
if
this
you
is
just
what
believe
is
in
so
something,
is so conscious like that. What God gives to you is the power of belief. And then when you go and you study the Bible, it's all there. It's like if you believe, it's gonna happen. You ask and happen. Like and then all these people that are teaching techniques of visualization, and God is teaching these people forever. You understand?
Yeah.
Without religion. But people tend and push to religion, but it's not what he wants. He doesn't want anybody locking in rules and, oh, if you do that, you're wrong. It's like, no, judgments and stuff like that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like 100% Jesus because he's like, he is the personification of that. Okay, we out of this. We free.
So you follow like the ideas and not necessarily the small, like little.
No, I'm
things.
not.
Yeah.
I'm like, people say, oh, what church you go here? I'm like, what church? I'm supposed to be a church. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to be a church. That's what God teach you. It's like, I believe the church are important because you need a place to learn, to have a direction. And the people that are there are going to give you the direction. All the other rest, the Holy Spirit will make it through your choice of keep feeding your soul, your spirit. You got what I'm saying? It's not something that a go will fall in your lap. Why? Because we have the free will.
Yeah.
What God is that one that's going to say like, no, I want you and you mine. What? No. It's like, I want to be yours. All right, so come to me. And then you're going to be with me. You're going to hang out with me and you're going to know who I am. You're going to see my face and you're going to understand everything about me. That's the way it is, but people got like that. Why? Because then there's a big lesson about human beings. That's why I love to teach Jiu-Jitsu. Because for me, Jiu-Jitsu is my ministry. It's my mission that God gave it to me. It's teach Jiu-Jitsu. Everybody likes the comfortable zone. Nobody likes to step out of the comfortable zone and look for what they want. Few people learn how to do it, and that's why they succeed. Because you can't be just waiting things to happen in your life. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? You have to go and have to expose yourself for failure. You have to like to be willing to pay the price for whatever is the thing. Like I could like just go bad and come into Canada. And then lose all my students there, whatever. It's like, imagine if I had that fear. Imagine if I have my mom still like, you know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Do you think that she gave me full support to come to Canada? No.
Yeah.
No.
So, okay, you got that phone call for $1,000, and then
I called them like, I'm good to go. So then, but like I got to get in the hands of like somebody, the really good person, which is Josh Report.
Okay.
There's like Toronto BJJ head instructor.
So you went directly to that job, to Toronto BJJ? Yeah, I came directly for Toronto BJJ. Oh, okay, cool.
It's like there was no, I'm telling you, when you put yourself to serve something highest, and it's like it has to go and take a little bit of you. You know, a lot of times I could like just fully give myself to my career, MMA career, because it's some passion I have. But a lot of times I felt I could have led my students, I could have led my teaching, I could have led that place. I don't know what it is, but I have something there.
Yeah.
And I'm still there. You know, people don't understand, but you learn how to just turn off everybody and just listen what it comes from that's higher thing, the purpose of a mission that you have, you know. And things are escalating from there. Like, and then I'm learning, and things are coming to my face, coming to my life in a way that I'm like, I can see clear more. The things happening. And when I say like, I'm living a dream, because I always dream of this place that I could teach, I could train, that I could see people changing their lives. And I'm leaving that, you know. And then
I know you give a lot back to the community. You always you have like an annual BJJ tournament where you raise tons of food to give to food
banks. Last one, we raised 2,500 pounds of food. Why? Because I remember the times that I didn't have food on my plate. How come right now I have the opportunity to bring more? Like I can, like, you know, a lot of people say like, oh man, you do charity and you put out there. It's like, it's not because I want to look good. It's because I want to encourage other people.
You put effort. Even like, I know there's a lot of students who come to you from like more rough backgrounds, and you give them a chance at Toronto BJJ.
I think Jiu-Jitsu, it's supposed to do that for people. It's a martial art. They're supposed to empower people, to help people to find themselves. And once they find themselves, it's up to them. And that's my idea there is like, okay, I'll expose you to Jiu-Jitsu, and Jiu-Jitsu will expose you to yourself, because there's no more sincere way to do things, because like what do you do when you do jiu-jitsu? You making decisions under pressure.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's
true. And then decisions come from the way you think. Okay. And then right after you have the outcome, and the outcome, it will be your emotions. And then I'm like for me, I know that it's not always the outcomes that we want, especially in jiu-jitsu. There's always somebody stronger, there's always somebody faster, there's somebody better than you. And you have to deal with that, with frustration. And frustration leads to bring a lot of bad emotions or good emotions, or you can learn how to control emotions, which is the ultimate source of life. Because like right there, you just practicing this mindset of emotional control. And that's when you can clearly see who you are. And then you become more self-aware. Of course, you need time to practice this. You need like more to be exposed.
It's always constant
to be able
practice.
To benefit, to reap that, you know, because like at the beginning it's kind of like it's the same for everybody, but you need to born to jiu-jitsu. And then when that happens, it's like you it doesn't matter if you stop for a month, you're there. You know jiu-jitsu, you know. And I would like to say you're already a black belt. That's why like a black belt is just a white belt who never quit.
Oh, okay.
Because there's nothing special you need to do to become a black belt jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
You just need to go back and to keep doing.
Yeah.
And one time you're going to get it. Some people get it in 3 years. Some people get it 5. It doesn't matter. It's your personal journey. It's like you have your time.
And I know jiu-jitsu teaches you more also because it's getting a black belt in jiu-jitsu is a lot harder than all the other martial arts for people who don't know.
I would say the advantage
Jiu-Jitsu
Jiu-Jitsu
by
have.
years, it's by dedication.
I will say something here. In my experience with other martial arts, the difference in Jiu-Jitsu that you can go 100% without being fake. So what I mean with that? Sometimes you go and you do boxing, all right? So there's somebody practicing boxing for 6 years, but they never really try to punch each other in the face for real.
Okay.
Because when that happens, you really fight, and then what happens is that you have to deal with the emotional of the outcome of the fight.
Okay.
Good or bad, you need to deal with the emotions. The super hype, excited that makes you cocky and overconfident.
Yeah.
And you lose that. You're not humble, or you have to be like too shy and not believe in yourself because you lost. You don't feel that because you don't have to taste that. You only taste like you hitting the pad so strong, you're getting faster. That's good. It can pump you, but doesn't really give you like the reality. And Jiu-Jitsu give a reality check the whole time. You think you're good, you think you're doing well, and then somebody comes and crush you, like, oh my god, that's bad, you know.
Yeah.
But the bad can become good if you learn how to change that. You need good guidance. You need good guidance. You know, Jiu-Jitsu is deep as the philosophical part. You know, like today there's a huge growth, but I see the sport grows more than the martial art in the philosophical part. People like the feel good part, which is learn how to fight. You know, and then they start to hide this, like, and then I see a lot of people quitting because like they start to like, okay, I have to be a champion, I have to to get a medal, and start to be a medal hunter, and that's why for me you lose a little bit of like the real benefit that the martial art can give to you, because it's a martial art that doesn't matter like how strong you are, weak, you can apply, not in terms of fighting, but in terms of mindset. You know.
Yeah, you can apply it to the rest of your life.
For me, that's why like it comes to the point that here that are in our mission to work with these amazing people that I have today there, that we got to a point that now we have our own association that calls Jiu-Jitsu for Life, because that's what I truly believe Jiu-Jitsu is a martial art for life. I could when I left the association that I was part of, which was the Ribeiro Jiu-Jitsu Association, that I'm extremely thankful to Master Sal Ribeiro for the opportunity they gave to me, but I felt there was an organic growth. It's like my time to just try to be have more autonomy. No authority. I don't care about authority. I care about autonomy to try my ideas, to make my mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, and then
so you're the first in the world to be Jiu-Jitsu for Life?
No, we create this.
You created it.
We just like what name we're gonna call her. Like
cool. So you started your own like branch.
Yeah, and then now we there's 1 year, you know, and we are like we have schools in Ontario, we have schools in Vancouver, we have some guys in the States, some guys in Brazil. You know, slowly we're like trying to spread our philosophy of like you know, we compete, but we use the competition as a tool to expose ourselves to a higher challenge, because I believe when you go for the competition is the closer you can get for a real fight. Because again, Jiu-Jitsu is such a good martial art and such efficient martial art. They're gonna teach you how to be comfortable when you're uncomfortable, and then you're gonna start to be comfortable in your academy. It's like, I don't know, you train a little bit. Do you remember the first days you came in, how intimidated it was, the adrenaline you had?
Yeah, well, I first started at Elite in Mississauga, and I was the only girl in the classes, and I was like, okay. But several times I've like challenged myself, even if it's an intimidating environment. I'm just going to walk in, even if I know absolutely nothing and no one, and push myself, and then,
how you feel after? You get more comfortable, right?
Yeah, I feel like good about myself. I'm like, cool.
But then that's what brings us to the point that you become too comfortable, and you see no more challenge. And here's the deal: if you're comfortable, there's no growth.
Actually, when I went from the place in Mississauga to Toronto BJJ, and I started training with different people in Mississauga, I thought I was like so good because the guys went easy on me, and I thought I was like.
They got the girls, and they're like, oh.
No, I know. I thought I was, you know, doing well, but no. When I competed against other guys at Toronto BJJ, like, people didn't take it as easy on me. I'm like, oh shit, you know what? I'm not as strong as I thought. Or like,
but it pushes you.
yeah,
It pushes you,
was
you know.
good.
But I'm pretty sure if you continue the journey, it will be a point that you're gonna get comfortable again, because that's how Jiu-Jitsu teach you. You're gonna learn how to figure out how to be comfortable there. You're gonna learn how to tap. You're like, okay, I tap. That's okay, good. No problem. You don't have more that emotional. But like when you go in to compete and they change, you're there against somebody that you never see in a different environment, nothing familiar. And again, that's why I compete in MMA. Because I always like more the Jiu-Jitsu, because I was getting so much more powerful because I was learning how to control myself. I always had a problem to control myself. I still have a huge problem to control myself. Sometimes I feel
what
like...
do you mean?
My thoughts, the way I am, you know, my nature is not good.
Okay.
That's why I need God. It's like, this is something that, man, is like, it needs a lot for you to decide to tell yourself that you like, you have problems, you have issues. I'm sorry about that. We all have. But like, we have this tendency to like, yeah, no, it's okay. I'm good. I'm a good person. Like, we have bad thoughts. We all have. We all have like things that we don't like it. And then this is like you need to go deep to your soul, deep to yourself, to like to go and see, like,
and
in
be
Jiu-Jitsu
honest with yourself.
Jiu-Jitsu give me this, because I can, and when I fight, when I remember the Jiu-Jitsu was something that put me out of comfortable zone a lot, but it was a point that I was competing and I didn't care anymore. I didn't feel that butterflies, and I didn't feel the voices of fear, because we all have fear, but we learn how to hide it. That's the thing. But I want to learn how to control it and face it, not learn how to hide it.
That's the best.
I'm gonna give like example here. Is like I could like just for the fear of failure, just to keep doing what I was doing because we were doing okay, but have that in the back of my mind. When I decided, so no, I'm gonna do that step. Let's gonna do our association. Let's get out of that, and that's gonna make it. And then it was right away like the voice is like, no, you guys can make it. You're not this guy. You da. People gonna think this. People, and then I'm like, no, screw that voice, because I learned how to control that. But like, no, I'm gonna face it. Why? Because what's the worst case scenario? Then it's like you learn how to make decisions, because you're there practicing this decision make every time. But what's the outcome?
Yes.
What's gonna be the problem? So then I start to check mark. Okay, so if that goes wrong, that's gonna happen. And then at the end of the day, it's like, okay, what's the result? Win-win. Because if I don't make it happen big and amazing, and we become the best association ever on this planet, we're gonna do something great, or we're gonna learn, or we're gonna come back. Either way, I'm winning. I'm not in lose. You know what I mean? I came here with what? With a passport.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that too. Like, when you got the job here, first of all, I guess your fiance at the time,
then I told her, I'm like, I'm going to...
She was okay with going, and...
She was like, she look, first of all, like, we together, because she always trusts me. She had a good job in Brazil. She, like, worked in a good, like, a company of advertising and marketing. Like, she lived, like, 2 blocks by the beach, and she was, like, being in a relationship with a guy that was broke. Like, when she first met me, I had, like, a scooter. And make noise that you feel. I turn it on here, you're gonna hear like down the Liber, like on the other side of Liber Village. Like, and she would be with me, you know, like when I had nothing. She always believed in my crazy ideas. I was telling her the things.
That's
and she
nice.
Was like, yeah, you can make
good
it. You
supportive
can make it.
partner.
And then I told her, like, look, I'm gonna be there. I don't know for how long, but if I feel everything's going to do the way I want it, like, I just bring you with me.
Okay.
It's like, all right. And then like 8 months after I came back for like, you know, end of year things, I'm like, let's do it. And then she came with me, and it was a little back and forth in the beginning, because all this, like, it took me time to get like my permanent resident status. And then every time I have to apply for a work permit, and then have to reapply for her. And then for a period of time, she's still working there, but then she quit her job, and then everything was ready, and then she moved here, you know. She believed it.
That's
she's
nice.
here with me. It was like, well, now today we have 2 kids. You know, we have just our newborn now. She's like 4 months old. Just like,
oh my god,
it's amazing. It's like it's you know, every relationship has ups and downs. Every relationship is hard, but again, like, you learn how to deal by believing. You know, by have like a different, like, here's principles. Have like goals and principles. Help me to make my decisions in life, and to keep like my priorities, you know. prioritize things. You don't need to hurt yourself in anything, but you need to be sincere and learn how to say no. You know, like things that you don't like it, things that you like it, you know, like and learn how to step out without being worried about what people are gonna think about it.
Yeah.
All this came from like you know, God in jiu-jitsu, and I believe like God gave jiu-jitsu to people as a martial art that can help. Like other people will find this in other things, and I truly believe that. There's people will find that in yoga.
Yeah.
What I think is like you should like look for what fulfills you, what music. You know, like you can see that, you know.
I think it's always good to have a physical component.
Oh yeah,
because like
it completes your, you know, you have like a overall thing, but like people will find this lifting, you know, like people that really work hard, you can find the philosophy in there, because and if you see the philosophy, it's always like good stuff. Just do good things, you know, like it's always like a hard work reward, you know. And if you see the principles are the same, and it doesn't matter where you go. That's why like those things they cannot be done by anything in the world other than God. There's a higher power there that creates this whole system of things to happen. Like the nature of like how things happen is just so perfect, you know. And we don't know why we are the chosen ones to be in this place here and to have this incredible miracle of thinking, because through our imagination, through our thinking, we can bring things to reality. A lot.
Like even like you were saying, visualizing yourself in a place, or you can
today
bring that to
I have
reality.
crazy visions, you know, and I'm never embarrassed I never embarrassing myself to say that, but I always try like to believe and to imagine the highest possible things.
So what are your visions?
Today, like, you know, I want like to help like jiu-jitsu in Canada to, you know, to reach another level, to like in terms of competition and results and athletes. I wanted to contribute as much as possible. I have this project called like Next Gen BJJ, which is a tournament, a circuit tournament that happens in cities of Canada. Today we like are going for the third year. Our next event is going to be Niagara. Then we going for Nova Scotia this year. We went to Winnipeg, Vancouver, Calgary, Toronto, obviously. And we want to expand that to the point that we have one tournament in each province. That's my goal. And by doing those events, networking with professors and teachers, and, you know, integrating them to the international standards, I'm very fortunate today to be working also like representing the CJA. I'm vice president of this Canadian Jiu-Jitsu Association, which allows me to help to host like international events such as the Abu Dhabi Canada, which call Canada Pro Nationals. It's going to be now in February again in Niagara. This is a big event. And also with the International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Association, we are hosting an event for them here in September. And that way we can like put more jiu-jitsu, you know, promote jiu-jitsu, and help jiu-jitsu to be promoted in a way that I believe is beneficial for people. The competition, it is a way to gather people, to make things happen, to network, to know each other. And I'm very pumped with that. Of course, we still have the association that we are working very hard to provide every member of our association, you know, the opportunity to train jiu-jitsu in the way they're going to learn jiu-jitsu, and they're going to be able to choose their path. You know, our association prime for diversity. I don't believe that my way is the best way. I believe we can all work together, but we should learn how to stand up in principles to make things happen. And that's what I want to like to find out, and to learn with them how to like to make we grow to one day we become one of the top 5 you know, associations of jiu-jitsu in the world. I know it's a long road. It's going to be very hard, but you know, I signed up for it back in the day when I was 16 and I had nothing but a bike. And you know, I think I'm very happy, you know, as I told you, it's like dream come true. I got God on my side, and for me it's always a win-win situation. I never lose, You know, it's like
because you learn or you succeed.
And then what we do is like at the end of the day, you know, whatever I do good here will stay. And then people are gonna take advantage. Maybe my son, maybe my daughter, maybe you, maybe someone else. You know, gonna be able to benefit from jiu-jitsu.
Your son is doing jiu-jitsu,
Oh
right?
yeah, so cool.
How old is he now?
He's 4.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't even know what he's doing, but I already put it in there. He's like, I think jiu-jitsu is a good thing for kids. You know, I'm suspicious, you know, like I'm always going to be biased to talk about jiu-jitsu. But I want him to be able to defend himself, first of all. If he decided that jiu-jitsu is not his thing, he find like his way in something else, I'm fine. But at least he know how to defend himself. We live in a world that you know how to defend yourself. It is important. You know, it's like the self-defense aspect of jiu-jitsu. This is the prime thing of jiu-jitsu. It's like self-defense. It's not learn how to compete. But jiu-jitsu give you that ability to defend yourself in a fight, and also give you that ability to learn how to avoid a fight, because you become more aware. You can read body language, you know, like this is how we teach you the self-defense part of that. It's like, learn how to read the person talking to you, you know, when they close a fist, when they show a little bit of aggressiveness, and then you learn how to keep a distance, safe, you know. There's a few steps that can make you avoid a fight that can be the end of your life. And then sometimes it's just a gesture can like trigger a big fight, a big riot, and then a lot of people don't know that. And you know, like we have the masters that they fought in the street for years and years and years, you know, just jumping on their experience to pass along. So yeah, it's a great martial arts, and of course my son, I want to expose him as much as possible. Of course my daughter too.
Yeah, I want to do a special segment with you, which will be on a video, not a podcast form. Probably in Toronto BJJ to show like some basic self-defense moves.
Let's do this.
That'd be so awesome.
we ready for that. Anytime you guys want, you just come in. We have a lot of girls in our program too. There's like more than 100 girls training.
Oh really?
I have some of the
best.
Wow,
it's growing a lot then.
We have one of the best girls, like even in Canada we have world champions.
You've trained a lot of world champions. Yeah.
I've been fortunate enough to be in academy, and then, you know, we produce world champions there. It's just great. It's very rewarding for me. Yeah. But again, I rather produce good human beings. I not produce because I'm who I am. You know, I just like to inspire people. I like to, every time people go there and their life it has some impact in their lives. And this is my main mission. It's like I like maybe they become world champions, maybe they become like just the hoodie champion, whatever. I'm really looking to make an impact in their life. Maybe they're even gonna hate me after that. Like, oh, George, not because I'm not a perfect guy. I know that I'm not a professor for everybody. You know, like sometimes like the way I am, and sometimes I'm delivering a message that people already heard the message. They just like, oh, I can't hear that anymore. Because their period is gone, so there's time for them to go, and people come in, but like I'm pretty sure every time people go there they have something, and that's my goal. It's like there's something good, some positive, something that, why? Because it wasn't George, it was jiu-jitsu, and I try to present them jiu-jitsu in the purest way, and they can choose what they want because they were able to be introduced for themselves in a deep way. And that's like, this is for me powerful. Because then you start to practice emotional control. And I type this in classes every time, type my instructors. We need to tell them that. Emotional control is a resource of life. Yeah. You control your emotions, my friend. It's like everything that happens, you can just change the way you think. Just changing your perspective. It's like, I told you, that's why I'm so thankful when I was a kid. I had so much of that rough time, because I had to learn how to redirect my thoughts. And like, oh, I don't have the video game. And I never had a video game until like I was like maybe 15. And it was hard to go into my friend's house, just need to try to play a little bit. You know, it's like, oh, okay. But I had to learn how, like, but it was so good because I learned how to have friends. And I had to learn how to make more friends and be more, you know, more easygoing and understand that things never go in the way I wanted sometimes. And that makes me like to be more appreciative for what I have. And I never take things for granted. I'm always so thankful, you know, it helped me so much. So, you know, so that's what jiu-jitsu going to provide people for sure. Yeah. Because you're going to get smashed. There's no way.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's nice that you give your best, you do all you can. And if someone is the best human being they can be, then they can accomplish whatever they want and live their best life.
It's a rule. Like if I don't feel like I'm gonna make it well, I'm out. You know, today when I walk in here to your podcast, oh my God, I want to give my very best. Like whatever I can provide here, the information, I'm trying like to squeeze everything good out of me here now in my voice and the way I talk and the way, you know, because I want to give my very best. I want this to be the best ever, you know, episode you had.
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to make it? Maybe not. Probably not. But my effort and make me already a better person and make your podcast better. And it's just good things coming out.
I'm so glad you came here to share. And, thank you.
But that's my philosophy of life, you know. It's like, and that I want from my mom, because like I remember when we were like on this period of like, I'm gonna be a jiu-jitsu guy, and then she saw that there was no way she would not influence me to change it, and she's like, you know, do whatever you want, but like, please just be good.
Okay.
Just be good. Just give your best. And she'll say, because you have no backup. You know what I mean? And then I had that always like as my rule.
And now I guess she sees you successful in Canada.
Proud. She's proud. And you know, like my brother's also a successful guy. He took a different route, like more to the books. He's an anthropologist.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he ended up like having like a scholarship in one of the best universities in Rio, which is the Catholic one. Okay. And then today he lives in England.
Okay.
Yeah, he was working. I'm like not very updated, but right now he was working for Google. He's pretty smart.
Do you know what kind of anthropology?
Oh, sociology.
Okay. Cool. That's really interesting.
Completely different than me.
Yeah.
We're two different kinds. Like he's water, I'm oil. It's like always like that, or vice versa. But
it's so funny how like you can come from the same parents and like
crazy.
Raised like very similarly, but the personalities and
totally different. Totally different.
And ways of thinking. That's like
totally
my
different.
sister and I.
Like if it's just like we are so different. We are so different. But we love each other, and
but it's good because you learn to like love and be with someone who's
my brother
totally
is
different.
homosexual.
Oh, okay.
You see like how this is like I'm a fighter. We have everything.
Very macho, I guess.
But it was so good for me.
Yeah.
Because we know it's like, and for me it gave me so much love for other people too. It taught me so much on how to don't have like any kind of like a preconcept thought about people. It's like, for me, I learned like about so much with him. It's like my brother, he has this touch, and like he introduced me to all kind of music because he loves a lot of me. And every time I go home, there was like some new album there, and I'm like, oh, let me read this thing. Let me listen. He always encouraged me to read. It was like, you know, but we never hang out together because we have a completely different group. But we never have, like, we fight like other brothers, you know. Like people that have brothers, you know how it is.
Or siblings.
Why this is here? No, this is not supposed to be here. Like those silly things. But like I'm always support him, and he'll support me. And you know, and then we own that a lot to our mom, you know. Even though all the struggles that she went through, she could have gave us like you know, the best. I mean, but she always gave her best.
Yeah. And you do your best in the moment. And sometimes it's hard. And sometimes in a specific moment, your best isn't what it could be a different day. No. But as long as you do your best, then you just move on and learn. Yeah. There's no use looking back and being like, oh, I could have done this. No, it's done. Move on.
Move on. And that's it. So that's... It's a little bit of me. So
thank you so much.
No, thank you.
I love that you came and shared your story. I didn't know a lot of what you told me. So
thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
really
the opportunity.
Nice.
I'm glad. I'm like a big supporter of you. I see you hustle. I see you doing your thing.
Thank you.
The music, the podcast. I admire everybody that pursue for dreams and things. And then I feel like you represent us. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
I love to. I'm proud, you know. It's like, you see that girl, you're like, she used to train there, you know what I mean?
I loved my time at Toronto BJJ. Like, I stopped because I got in a car accident, But I loved my time there.
But you know, that's what matters. You know, that's what matters. When you went there, you had a good experience. You know, maybe one day you're back, maybe not.
Yeah.
But you're gonna carry that experience with you. That's what mattered for me. You know, and then we create this friendship, this relationship, and you know that lasts more than anything. And that's what we want there. You know, people go there, have good experience, have something that will add to their life positively, and share that. You know, it's like it's a chain of good stuff. There's so much bad stuff in the world, right? That we have to be the ones that break it.
Focus on the good.
Yeah, we have to be the ones that break it. It's important to be aware about the bad, because then you learn how to no, fight against it. So
yeah, but by being so positive and helping, it gives it grows, it's contagious, and it gives other people permission to do it too. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for listening. This is My Best Life podcast with Jorge Britto. Oh, where can people find you?
Oh,
on social media.
JorgeBritto BJJ. B as a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Okay. You find that Instagram.
Jorge
it's all
Britto,
the same.
BJJ.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Jorge Britto BJJ. You got me there.
Nice.
Like kind of put a lot of fun stuff there.
Yeah.
Not too fun. I'm always trying to put some things that work for me.
Yeah. And he's from Toronto BJJ.
Toronto BJJ. So thank you very much, everybody. Kings, Kimonos.
Yeah.
Josh, report Toronto BJJ. All my students, I love you guys all. I see you guys tonight. Train hard.
Okay.
That's it. We like to say there, the harder we train, the luckier we get. It's funny. I'm superstitious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
All right. Yay. That was fun.
Yeah. That's
that was
nice.
Fun.